Wi-Fi on.
No, it's just that my Wi-Fi is potentially wank.
So.
Oh, we're recording. So
Yes.
my Wi-Fi is potentially wank, which is probably the reason why there was no podcast last week.
Or it might be the reason that there was somebody missing, like this week. Or are they?
You're suggesting it was user error?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, we think we've maybe solved the problem.
let us introduce you to the saviour of the Popcorn Pundits.
We hope.
It is Nikky Spark! Yay! She has returned!
It's just because you didn't have a woman here last week, that's what it was.
Basically,
No,
we
look
had
at Peter
we
sometimes.
had a step-in producer, and we recorded the podcast.
He's good.
It was brilliant, but we failed to record it.
Yes.
And then we came in super duper early on Thursday morning to re-record it.
We recorded
we
at
went back
7
into-
o'clock in the morning.
We're not great at 7 o'clock in the morning. The first
No.
episode was definitely better. However,
Yes.
we still failed to record it. Yay!
Yes.
Because
Yay.
we are garbage.
Yes.
So we are really hoping that this works.
It's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, Nikki's here. It's going to work.
Anyway, so what's going to work?
The Popcorn Pundits review. That's what it's going to work.
Starts off. Sorry,
Please.
I
I went
was
on
going
my...
to say, Peter, you've forgotten already. Come
Go
on.
for it.
Well, anyway. Jazz. Nice.
I was skitty.
You were definitely.
Can I go back on holiday?
You were syncopated.
I was.
Awesome.
It was just, yeah.
You and your big words.
Like the Mighty
Peter.
Boosh. Mighty Boosh. If we were the Mighty Boosh, who would you be and who would I be?
Let's just start off by saying we're not the Mighty Boosh. We're the Popcorn Pundits.
That's
I want
correct.
to be Julian's character.
You could be the...
The moon.
You could be the moon.
I'll be the moon.
Yeah, who would you be?
A Popcorn Pundit. Can we get back to
Okay, let's get back
why
to
we are here?
Yes,
Please, and
indeed.
thank you.
This is your Popcorn Pundits weekly, not bi-weekly.
Only when I'm
You're
not here.
bi-weekly.
It's your
Podcast.
weekly update of what's going on in the cinema world, and it's our reflection about what we've seen at the movies.
Yes.
And also a little snippet of what's going on at home and your silver screens at home.
Yes. You are James Michael Mycrone.
I am.
I am Peter James Ungar.
And this is Nikky Smart.
Yes.
The
Return.
The return.
The
The
return.
return.
of the smart.
Thank
The revenge
goodness
of the
for that.
smartish.
We go
So, who are we? Why are we here? You didn't say we're encouraging people to go to cinema.
She's back. She's back.
Well, she lost it for a minute. She was talking to Mighty Boosh for about 10 minutes.
That was me.
We're the Popcorn Pundits. We
Yes.
go and see every film pretty much that comes
We
out
try
of
to.
the cinema, or a large number of them anyway. And we give you our down-to-earth reviews as to what we think about it. James
Absolutely.
is the guru of movies and has been where he saw over 100 movies last year, 67 of them at the cinema.
Yep, we're up
And-
to quite a few this year so far, though.
We're banging on the door of 50, aren't we?
Easily.
I'm
What?
I
always the
think we've
one.
gone over actually.
That's my 50th birthday next
Oh
week.
no!
I know, I can't believe how quickly it's come round.
It's Peter's birthday next week. Pop it. Why don't you contact us via the Popcorn Pundits and congratulate Peter for lasting on the planet so long?
Or just send me a present.
Yeah.
I'll take charitable donations.
I don't mind. at all.
So we're not allowed to go off on a tangent about Mighty Boosh, but he is.
Yeah, I encourage
His
it.
birthday.
I encourage it.
Okay.
What about my birthday?
So we start with the top 10. What's going on in the UK charts.
Yeah.
We then review a movie or two that we've seen at the cinema, and then Peter tells me what he thinks about the homework I give him as well.
And then you give me new homework.
I do indeed.
Yeah,
You wait for
absolutely.
this homework this week.
Awesome. Okay. Are we going to mention what didn't get mentioned last week?
Well, I think we should do, but what we can do is we can highlight it when we do the top 10.
Oh, as long as it's in the top 10.
Exactly.
Let's find out.
Peter, would you like to start with the top 10, please?
Number 10 is If.
Yes.
Number 9 is the Garfield movie. Number 8, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1.
I'm going to let you watch that one.
No.
Would you
I'm
like,
not going to watch it.
Would you like
I've
a
decided.
description?
What? This is really good. You're going to love this.
So it's
Why?
This is going to change
Kevin
your
Costner.
opinion. It's Kevin Costner
Yeah.
basically doing a film version of Yellowstone, as far as I can see. But it looks really, really good.
It
Does
says
I'll happily do it. Hands in the air. I'm in. I'm in.
families, friends, and foes
Yes.
discover the lure of Old West.
He is
as
the lure of Old
Civil
West.
War divides the country.
Okay, then. Right.
He is. He is in the trailer. He is having naughty times with a very young, sexy lady.
Well, exactly. What's number 7, Petey?
Jat and Juliet 3.
Yes, so 2 police officers from Punjab travel to Canada on a mission that proves more complicated than expected.
In National Canada Day week.
Perfect.
There we go. Who would thunk it? 6.
Okay.
National Canada Day. the week of that.
Yeah, no, I was trying to work it out.
Number 6. We went to see this week. Kinds of Kindness.
Kinds of kindness.
Distributed by Walt Disney.
I know. But mind you, so was Poor Things.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yes.
Number 5 is The Biker Riders, which was our failed attempt to podcast
Bike
last
Iders.
week.
And we had a review sent in by Richie McRich from Tucker TV.
Yes.
Which I think will actually
Well,
replace our non-review last week.
it was identical. His review was basically identical to ours,
But better.
more concise.
Yes.
Certainly, his isn't an hour long.
So we'll read that out after we've done the 2 reviews for today.
We also did Bad Boys as well, didn't we, last week?
Did we?
Yeah.
Was that last week?
I think it was.
No, that was a couple of weeks ago.
You sure?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't think it was. I think it was last week.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember you guys doing that, and I obviously wasn't
What you
here.
could do.
Well, I think you should probably zoned out
What you
because
gonna
it's
do?
Bad
I'm gonna-
Boys : Ride
Yes.
or Die, and we said they should die.
Yes, it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely wasn't here for that. So that was
What's number 3, Petey?
Kalki 2898 AD.
So
You read that really well.
He did.
I just say it with confidence. I've got no clue if it's right or wrong.
So a modern avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu is said to have descended to Earth to protect the world from the evil forces.
Oh.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 2, A Quiet Place: Day 1.
Yes.
We went to see that this week.
We did. We're going to be reviewing it.
And we didn't go and see Inside Out 2, but we do need to go and see Inside Out 2.
Yeah, they've got a new character on.
I might watch-
More than one character.
I might
but
watch
there's a
Inside
main.
Out 1 first at home.
Okay, have you not seen one?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's an emotional roller coaster, isn't it?
It really is.
Okay, so that is this week's top 10. See, I'm driving things forward because I know how much we have to churn through in the rest of the podcast. So that was the
Top 10.
UK and Ireland's top 10
Yes.
up until the 1st of July. Can you believe it?
I can believe
It's
it.
the second half of
I know.
2024.
Bonkers, isn't
We're
it?
on
We're,
week 36.
we'll be
as
talking about
well.
Christmas movies soon.
And Strictly.
So before we go any further, shall we hear the review
I
of
think now is a good time.
the Biker, or Bike Iders?
Bike
Biker
Iders.
Iders.
Yeah, the Biker Iders.
Did you say your scores for the Bike Iders?
We'll do the review first and then we'll give you our scores after.
Yeah.
But what if
Oh,
you're
look at
copying?
you.
What if you're copying his score?
We're not. We gave them to you earlier on, so you know we're not going to cheat.
Yeah.
Okay, so this
Can
is.
you do it in
from-
the voice of Richard?
I don't know what his voice is like.
He talks like this.
So pretty much my voice is in between both of what you did there. Okay, so this is from Richard
Spending too
Tucker.
much time with you.
This is actually from.
Tucker TV.
Who sent me this screenshot?
I don't know why. Is it
This
rude?
is from Rich Rad Tucker.
Right.
He says, my review of Bike Riders, The Bike Riders. This was a film that I had certain expectations of after seeing the trailers. It did not meet that expectation, but it did not disappoint.
Oh, I'm intrigued now.
The performances
good.
by
He's got
Jodie
this so right.
Comer, Austin Butler and Tom Hardy were outstanding. Tom and Austin, men of few words, but able to portray the characters extremely well. Jodie's performance as usual, was extremely good as the main voice. The cinematography was outstanding, very stylised, and had a rough, grainy feel to it. Sure it wasn't anything on his seat. This film, entertaining, although I did struggle at times with it being slow and dragging on, and my mind wandering to other places. I would give this movie 6.5 out of 10.
So I went to a family barbecue at the weekend, and my brother is a biker Ida.
Is he?
He is, yeah.
Has he got the leather jacket?
He's got everything.
Has he?
He's more Kevlar. But yeah, kinda.
Okay.
He kind of relates to that world.
Right.
And he thought this was exceptional. He
Really?
really, really liked it. He thought the interpretation of a motorcycle club
Yeah.
was really accurate. And
Even the voices.
well, I didn't go into that. He liked that the storyline so much
Yeah.
that I think he glossed over the fact that they came with three very, very different voices.
So that's your brother?
Like your voice, my voice of Richard Tucker. It was that type of thing. So our conclusion of the movie last week pretty much was stylistically beautiful,
Absolutely.
absolutely gorgeous. In general, a great idea for a film.
Austin Butler, I'd do him in a heartbeat.
Well, you'd have to queue up, sweet cheeks.
I was
No,
going to
no.
say, I think there's
You're
an
joining the
ever-growing
long
crew.
queue. However, we both kind of felt it was just lacking a bit of substance.
Yeah.
A bit of backstory was missing
Yeah.
and a bit of plot was missing.
Absolutely.
And we also thought it was very, very much inspired by
Scorsese.
Scorsese. Very, very Scorsese.
It was.
Scorsese.
You're looking at me.
Yeah.
You're looking at me.
Even down to the intro. But anyway, so I gave it 6.5.
Oh, look, Nikki's gone all...
Sorry, I was stripping
Mean
off 'cause I
Girls
got a
is
bit
Wednesday.
hot.
We're doing a score bit.
Sorry.
Okay, this is a concentration part.
All right.
I gave it a 6.5.
Yes, what did I give it?
You gave it a 6.8.
That's right.
And Richard McTucker gave it a 6.5.
So what's the overall score? Divided by
Well,
3.
Oh, I'm dividing it by 3 now.
Yeah,
Well,
but there's 3 scores.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
6.6.
That's how it works.
This is a new thing.
6.7.
Okay.
If you were to send in a review, we are happy to add it to our scores.
Oh, we've done that historically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that.
6.6.
6.6.
6.6 what? Round? No extra numbers afterwards?
No.
Okay then,
6.6, bang on.
Okay, boom.
Are you questioning my
No,
calculator?
it was a question. The answer was really straightforward.
Next.
Yes, Peter,
Next.
6.6.
Next.
Right, so we're going to be reviewing the 2 films we've seen this week
Okay.
at the local cinema. We're going to be reviewing A Quiet Place, which, unbeknownst to Peter, was the 3rd instalment of the
I had no clue
the
whatsoever.
Quiet Place trilogy.
I thought this
Yes.
was like The Strangers Part 1.
No.
I thought it was like that.
I know what you mean.
I thought it was the beginning of even though that was a
Yes.
sequel,
Yes.
prequel.
So this film is, although it's the 3rd instalment, it's actually a prequel to the first 2 films. And obviously the first film was starring Emily Blunt and her lovely husband, Johnny.
What's his surname?
Skowaski. And
Mike Wazowski.
you're looking at me.
Mike Wazowski.
And the 2nd instalment was also starring Emily and also Cillian Murphy, or Cillian Murphy.
Okay, so this is great because I can use this as extra homework points this weekend, as long as they're streamable, because it might be worth a stream.
So the first film was obviously depicted a whole year after the alien invasion, and the family settled in. They'd got used to the idea of being ultra quiet, and they were living underneath pillows and that sort of thing. The second movie was a little bit more action-like, and this film was day one, the day that the aliens landed on the planet Earth. How did it kick off? Why did it kick off? And what happened afterwards?
So the reason I was a little bit confused was in the trailer you have a rewinding clock.
You do.
So I was expecting this film to be a bit of back history, time travel.
And that's the reason why you came to me midweek and you went, not too sure about the story plots. And
and the reason why you knew what was going on,
Yes.
because you'd seen something that happened 450 days later.
Exactly. I knew what the score was.
However,
However,
there are still some Swiss,
I disagree with you completely.
Swiss cheese holes.
Right, I would say, I'd like to start off a little bit with this movie. I would say this is possibly one of the most emotionally charged sci-fi stroke horror movies that's been made recently.
I would like to add that out of everything we've seen this year,
Yes.
the first 10 minutes of the film
Yes.
is the most beautiful
It is.
introduction to a
Yeah.
horror movie I've seen ever.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. It is so beautifully put together, but also it's not smokesy like that. It's just beautiful. It's hard to describe without giving too much away.
Well, see now, the problem
on.
with losing a podcast
Yeah,
is that I was about to refer to it,
you were.
and I can't.
You can't.
Because the start is actually quite a similar start. And, basically...
What, to Bad Boys?
Well, yeah. So, our lead actress,
Yes.
Lupita Nyong'o.
That's right.
Even I struggle with that
I
one.
know, I saw you.
She is like stunningly beautiful, and we do spend a lot of time looking at her face at the beginning of this film. And it's done so beautifully and stylistically. I just loved it. I just absolutely.
The casting is, I agree with you, the casting is absolutely spot on, because what they've chosen is they've chosen 2 lead actors who come from completely different backgrounds, completely different styles, but they're both, because they are depicting a movie that virtually is completely silent apart from the rubble and the aliens dropping, because they have to be so quiet. The main acting is mainly through their emotions, how they're reacting to things, how they are, and they're almost communicating almost through their faces without saying a single word a lot of the time, and it's so believable, and it's so realistic, and it's done really, really well. Would you agree, Peter?
So the film starts with like a subtitle that says Manhattan's noise
yes.
is 90 decibels, which is the same volume as a human scream.
And all of a sudden,
Which I thought was quite clever.
Is very clever.
Quite a clever line.
Yeah.
And actually, I went back and tried to remember what that line was,
Yeah.
because we'll discuss my potentially erroneous ideas about this film later on. Basically, these are noise-sensitive monsters who can't see,
That's right.
and they basically bombard
Yes.
Manhattan.
That's right.
Is what we see.
I mean, it's a very simple concept. If you were to put this concept of this film on a piece of paper, like I have just done, it's not a million miles away from the likes of Cloverfield. It's not a million miles away from the likes of Independence Day, because what you have is you've got a basic journey from one side of the city to the other side of the city with alien invasions. You've got buildings falling down, and you've got emotion. You've got heartache, and you've got that need to get to the end of the journey.
And,
So-
alongside that,
Yes.
you've got the human plot line,
Exactly,
which
and
runs
that's what added to
which
it.
runs as a parallel. Yeah, absolutely. And we do like that, don't we? We do like that Godzilla-esque thing where actually...
Yeah, Godzilla's another one. Yeah, 100%.
You've got that kind of... you've got the micro story about humanity, and then the fact that this humanity exists next to this potential humanity destruction.
However, the difference between this movie and the likes of Cloverfield, for instance, is that Cloverfield would usually have a handheld camera. They're documenting in a real life sort of scenario, and every single character has to almost explain every single aspect of what part of the city they're going to, and what's wrong with Macy Boy, and is their phone dying, and the dialogue is almost thrown in for
Stupid people.
Yes, however, not for you, darling. You're not stupid.
No, because this is one of the issues that I had with this film.
Yes.
Is that I felt that there were some things which weren't explained enough. And we've had this problem before, that I'm a stupid person and I need to be told certain things.
I relish in ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
I relish it. I swim in it.
You do. One of the issues I had with this film was I wasn't sure how they all knew that they needed to be silent.
Yes.
Quite early on, it was kind of before the big army helicopters had gone past saying shh.
Yes, and they were doing it really loudly.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I didn't get that, but anyway, that's just like one of my little things about this film.
Okay.
There were a few things that annoyed me through it.
Go on then. Get out of the way, and then we can do the nice things.
No, not really. I mean, because none of them ultimately distracted my enjoyment of the film. I came away and I had lots of questions.
Yeah.
But obviously, because you'd seen the other two films,
Yeah.
maybe you had answers that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, what level of risk would you put yourself at to save a cat?
Well, you see, and that's where the emotion level comes in, because what we haven't mentioned is you've got two main characters which are human. The third character is a cat.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, the most charming cat ever in the world. I'm not a cat person. I had a cat called Morrissey, died. Anyway, but...
Morrissey died?
Morrissey died.
Morrissey died.
Not our Morris, not the real... No, anyway.
Not the real Morrissey.
Sorry, Morrissey
just
fans
the
out
fake
there.
one.
Exactly, not a podcast about the death of Smith's lead singer. However, and what you have here is you've got two human characters who are broken. You've got the lead character who's broken for a reason that we don't want to get into.
Yeah.
But it's fairly obvious right from the very beginning of
I
the
think
movie.
we can say what it is.
Well, she's ill. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
She's ill. However, but the male character is suffered so the trauma that this male character has suffered so much is that every time he comes across any sort of moment of terror, you know very well he's going to he could quite possibly make a noise because he's so terrified and he's so messed up. Exactly. So to come across the cat who's completely silent, and they're both obsessed with this cat because the cat just seems to have this its ability to be able to just turn up out of nowhere and go, all right, how's it going?
He was like a pigeon cat.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
a talking cat.
No, didn't have to. Talk with his eyes. There
There we go.
Yeah, the third eye.
I didn't understand how one subway was completely flooded and the next one wasn't. I mean, things like that annoy me.
Yeah, but I like to think that what happened there was the aliens came through, burst through a pipe, filled up the tube.
Yeah, but water levels are the same everywhere. So why would one be full and the other one wouldn't?
Don't
That's
know.
scientifically wrong.
Yeah, well, perhaps you need to talk to New York systems about that.
Okay, I will do.
They need to sort themselves out.
I'll send them an email.
Please do. So, it's beautiful. It's incredibly produced. It's a worthy addition to the trilogy. In fact, I think it's better than the second one. If you've seen the second one, this is better than the second one, I think. Go on.
I didn't want it to end.
Nice. That's a really lovely.
I really didn't. It was. I mean, I think my biggest issue, and I'm making it sound like it's a negative, and it's not, because I just loved the start so much that I felt the rest of the film didn't quite live up to the beautiful introduction.
Oh, come on. There was that scene in the jazz club,
Yeah.
and he was playing a card trick.
Yeah.
That was totally heart-wrenching, I thought.
It was beautiful.
It was absolutely
don't get me
beautiful.
wrong. This isn't a critical. What I'm trying to say is, this film had the potential to be up there, up there, and I think. And I did go with anticipation because I loved the trailer, and I just thought the imagery of Lupita, with the dusty face looking down and then looking up to screen. It was just one of those kind of. It felt like an iconic cinema moment.
I think it will be.
I just didn't feel that the end. I just didn't feel everything after that first 10 minutes was as good as the first 10 minutes. It just looked so good.
I think we'll agree to disagree on that one, but I'm glad we both enjoyed it.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
Good. So, what score are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it an 8.
Wow.
No, I really, this is what I'm trying to say. I really enjoyed it.
You really enjoyed it,
but
Peter.
it could have been knocking on the door of a 10, is what I'm saying.
I give it a 7.9.
Oh, wicked.
Look at that.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, it was really, really good. And it's just like, and it's so mad that it's a film with hardly any words.
And what
whatsoever.
I really liked is everybody in the cinema respected it. There was not a noise. I mean, everybody was like sucking on soft sweets. It was really good.
Would you improve it in any way?
Samuel Jackson.
We've not had an imminent improvement for a while, have we? I would have liked to have plugged up those Swiss cheese holes for me. I just think if they'd gone through the script with a fine-tooth comb, they could have made this a real 9.5er. I really do. It was a beautiful concept, really beautifully delivered. I just thought there were a few little plot holes.
I think you need to see the first two and then report back to us next week.
I will do.
And then hopefully the
next
package
few
will
weeks.
seduce you.
Yeah, well, I certainly want to watch the late and new first ones.
Yeah.
What did you say?
He said the package will seduce you. And I said to him, you've said that before. Would
Today.
you like some facts?
This morning, actually.
Yes, please.
So, Lupita was actually...
I used to love Blue Peter.
Sorry, how
But
would
the
you like
elephants.
to pronounce the name? Was afraid of cats. So she had to undergo cat therapy to play Samira.
Wow.
So she said, I was terrified of cats. I couldn't even be in a room with a cat. I was suspicious of them. I was pretty sure they were out to get me, but I really wanted to play Sam so badly, and she has the cat. So I had to face my fear. They hired someone to bring cats to me in Los Angeles over a number of days. I observed the cats and asked lots of questions, and when I felt brave enough, I touched one, and then it was two, and before you know it, I was petting one until I could hold a cat without freaking out.
I'm so tempted to mention
Yeah, there's
something
so
about
much,
delivering.
so
I
much
could
in that,
see.
isn't there?
Yeah. And
My
the-
takeaway from that is that there is actually someone in LA whose job that is.
I know. What do you do? I deliver cats so people are afraid of cats.
I'm a cat
Do you
therapist.
Do you now?
So the cat was called Frodo, and he was actually played by two
On a journey.
cats.
Yeah.
Frodo on a
And he
journey.
was actually played by two cats
Right.
who were named Nico and Schnitzel in real life. In the puppet theatre after the initial attack, one person is listening to a radio marks location on a globe, proving for the first time in the series this is a worldwide problem.
There was a beautiful moment in it. There was a beautiful when the lead character was outside the bookshop, and there was a book at exactly the right angle, at exactly the right point. It was a red book. It stood out a little bit more than the rest of the book. And bearing in mind that the aliens were plummeting from space onto planet Earth and desecrating it, and all of the title of this book was "Happiness Falls." I love that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Quickly,
You
sorry.
do love a
just
little crumb in a movie, don't you?
some other quick facts. So Sam claims that Frodo is a service cat.
Yes.
In order to sneak him into a store.
That's right.
But this is intended to be a joke.
Oh.
And do you know why?
Why?
Peter?
No clue.
So in the US...
Yeah.
Only-
Oh, I do know. You can take any animal onto a plane. And some lady took a service pony on a flight because it was a therapy pony.
Well, you can only get certain therapy animals in the US.
Yeah.
So in the US, it is only dogs and miniature horses that can be designated as service animals.
Miniature horses.
Took it on a fucking plane.
And they only earn that designation after many months, if not years of training. So there's no way it could have been a service cat.
But there was also a video of a service peacock on a
but
flight.
it's not an official service peacock.
No, I know
They
that.
can't have been
That's
US,
what
yeah.
that's what I was getting to.
And Paramount has stated that this is not a continuation of part 2, but it is a prequel.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it is. Yeah, it'd be weird if it was a continuation.
Right,
Right, so there you have it.
I wouldn't have a clue either.
That is A Quiet Place.
We've scored it.
We have indeed.
We reviewed it.
Day 1.
We kind of loved it.
We loved it.
It is 6.8 on IMDb.
And what did we give it?
7.9.
Nice. Get in there. Right. On the next night, however, we went to the cinema again to watch a movie that I knew nothing about.
I just need to give a bit of a pre-film background to this, because I turned up to this movie a little bit befuddled.
I know.
So we go to the cinema in Maidenhead at the Odeon, and round the corner is a really, really great sushi restaurant.
There is.
And I've had takeaway from there before.
Miyazaki.
Yeah, so good.
Miyazaki.
So I went in there.
The most
and-
unlikely place as well, isn't
Yeah,
it?
It's my
it
favourite
looks
place.
very small. It
Yeah.
doesn't- it's quite nondescript.
Yeah.
Hi,
Oh, I went-
Miyazaki.
I went in there with an hour to go,
Yeah.
and it was packed. And I went, "Am I going to get fed before 7 o'clock? Because I need to go
Yeah.
and see a film." And
Yeah.
she looked around and went, "Yeah." And then I sat in there
Lying.
for an hour waiting
Yeah.
for my food to arrive. And I understand it's because they were busy and everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and they're busy because they're great.
Exactly.
This isn't a criticism of the
In
restaurant.
fact, if we
But there
went
was-
to them enough time, we might get some free food off them.
Well, I'm going back in next Monday, so I've got to finish my dinner. Because basically, I didn't get anything. So I basically, at 10 to 7, I had to say, can I actually have that as a takeaway? And they said, yes, that's going to be about 20 minutes. And then it then came out after half an hour. So this was 20 past 7 when the showing started at 7.
That's right.
So not only did I run into the cinema to get to
did.
my seat
Yes.
and kind of sat down next to you guys,
Yeah.
I also had really stinky, because I had some tempura and some teppanyaki.
Sophie did smell it. She said
It stank. I
She
felt
said it
so-
sounded amazing. To be fair, it wasn't a very busy cinema.
No, but it was so smelly, and I've been quite critical in the past of what people have brought into the cinema. I then had to crack open 2 of those Tupperware things.
I did hear the.
So
And I was,
loud,
and I was
aren't
waiting for like a moment, because you were very good. Like you do the when you got a can of Coke or something, or
I wait
other
until-
soft drinks
yeah.
available. You wait for like a thunderclap
I
or
do.
something, and then open it in that because you're so good. I was so hungry. I waited. I was just like, the moment's just not
Son
coming.
it!
Yeah. Anyway, so I turned up about 5 minutes late
You did.
into this film.
You did. But
And I kind of presumed that had kind of been the explanation as to what the fuck happened.
no,
But how
not in
was-
any shape
How
or
was
form.
the food from Miyazaki?
It's exceptional. It's so good.
Good. Miyazaki Maidenhead, I should say.
Right.
Anyway,
I might get some tonight then.
Okay, so we went to see a film called Kinds of Kindness.
We did.
Yeah, this
We
won a Palme
did.
d'Or. Best
Yes.
actor.
Wow. So who's the director and who's the cast?
So we are back in the world of
Poor Things.
Poor Things. Thank you very much. So we are in Yorgos Lanthimos's reign and
Yes.
realm.
Sacred Deer. The favourite.
Lobster.
Lobster, all very surreal and slapstick, but always serious, dark and yet funny. I mean, he's got a fantastic back catalogue
And we're
of
kind of going
incredible
down. It
movies.
seems to be going down the realm now of like Coen Brothers and
Yes.
that type of idea of having this
Ensemble.
cluster of actors who come together and obviously just love working together.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking
Feet first.
Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons. Jesse Plemons is the one that won Palme d'Or for
Oh.
Best Actor. Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley,
Yep.
and a host of others.
Hong.
Go on.
excuse me.
Hong.
Ciao.
She was in The Whale.
All right, okay.
She was the nurse in The Whale.
Oh, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
And she was also in The Menu. Have you seen The Menu yet?
I've seen the menu.
Massive eyebrows. She was a head waitress.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Amazing. So that's a testament to her that how diverse she's able to be.
But the fact that I didn't remember her. Brilliant.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I know. I thought so.
Okay, so how do we kind of describe this? We describe this as a triptych of short stories, do we?
Yes,
Yeah? Do we
absolutely.
say that? It's
But I mean,
three unattached stories.
Oh, I don't know.
See, this guy. Okay,
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. So
Yeah.
I'm really worried
Yeah.
that I didn't understand what the fuck happened last night.
Well-
and this could be one of those moments where I declare myself stupid because
There was a lot more questions than there were answers. A lot more questions than there were answers. It really based around the character, the bearded character, the RMP character.
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Who was misquoted at the beginning because the embroidery wasn't that good on his shirt.
yeah.
Which I loved.
I didn't see that
You
bit.
see, that
I
was
wasn't
beautiful,
there.
absolutely beautiful. So you're right. It's a three-parter storyline, which takes you by surprise initially.
Yeah, because you get credits at the end of each little story.
That's right.
And at the end of the first one, I was just like,
Is that it?
right, this is where we're going because it was 45 minutes in.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you've got the fantastic mixture of the same actors in every single story playing completely different characters,
Yeah.
but with relish. I mean, they dive into each one of these characters. They sort of they surround themselves with these characters and they live it. They're absolutely incredible.
It's like an acting school
Yes.
end of year performance.
Yes.
And the same actors getting up
That's
and
right.
doing different stories, like for different students kind of
Yeah.
end of year pieces, one after another. And it's a very, very, for me, it was a very, very enjoyable watch.
Yep.
But I didn't really understand a lot of what I was watching.
Well, I agree with you, and I won't lie to you. It's taken a good 24 hours for me to dissect it in my own head and actually figure out a few things. But there were some very distinct moments. The best way to describe it, you're 100% right with the arts house perception. But also, to me, it felt a little bit like the tales that you unexpected.
Yeah, yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
So you were thrown into a story with no start and almost no end sometimes, and you're thrown into this really complex, character-driven storyline 3 times in a row. That one of the thoughts have been it's all to do with want of something.
Right.
Okay, so in the first story, Jesse's character wants to live his own life,
Yes.
but then he regrets it.
Yeah.
So he made the decision to stand on his own 2 feet and actually live his own life without being told what to do by somebody else. We won't go into details.
Oh, okay. I don't get that. No, that's not what happened.
Okay.
In that story.
It was. And the second story was with same actors, obviously different characters, and he wanted to establish that whether it his real wife or not his real wife.
Yes.
And then the third story was somebody wanting to find a spiritual saviour.
Yes.
There you go. It's all to want.
Okay. Yeah. You can. Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough. So basically, the first story is based on a character,
That's right.
Robert Fletcher, who
Yeah.
is he basically does whatever his boss wants him
Whatever.
to do, and his boss writes him a note
That's
which he
right.
follows every morning. And so it's a postcard note in an envelope. He
Yeah.
opens up the envelope. It tells him what to eat and drink for breakfast.
When his bowels should be moving.
Whether he should have sex with his wife before he comes to work.
That's right.
The way he should come to work.
That's right.
What he should do while he's at work.
That's right.
What time he should go home. Whether he should do exercise. Whether he should drink alcohol. What alcohol he should drink.
Yeah,
Because
when
quite
he should do
often-
it.
Yeah.
With his mac and cheese.
Yeah, exactly, and and that's kind of
It's
like
micromanaging
that's kind of
beyond.
But what you said about the
Yeah.
fact that there's no kind of beginning, middle, or end of these stories
Yeah.
is absolutely right. It's like in Marvel, like
Exactly.
like when you open up a door and you're in a different world. It's that type of thing, and
Yeah.
you kind of go in and go out
Yeah.
of these things, and
It's almost as if, as a viewer, you're almost being thrown into this world without any explanation at all. And I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, there will be people in this audience really frustrated that they have not been spoon-fed exactly what every character has done, where they've come from, why they're doing these things. You know, why does William Dafoe do this? Why does Jesse put up with it, and so on and so forth? And I'm just sitting there going, I'm just basking in the glory.
You have
of
to
it.
let this wash over you,
Massive.
and I sat there, literally just letting. And I obviously channel you when I'm watching a film like this, because normally I would have been one of the 8 people who left.
There were 8 people left the cinema.
8.
I love it when they do that.
I've
I love it.
never seen people leave a cinema like, and they left for different reasons, which I found quite interesting. So the first couple left because they didn't have a Scooby-Doo what was going on, and they were just like, "This is weird." And as they were leaving, one of the brutal scenes happened.
Yes.
And she kind of looked at him and was just like, "Oh, I'm so glad we're leaving." and it was pretty, it was pretty brutal, wasn't it?
So it's set in modern day.
Yeah.
There is. It's not a sci-fi. It's not a horror. It's almost like a set of social experiments that you're watching from a voyeur's point of view, almost.
There is a sense of cult to this.
That massively.
In all the stories,
Yes.
actually, it does kind of feel there was a cult element to each of them. Willem Dafoe plays a different character in each of the stories.
Yes, he does.
He is, first of all,
He's a handsome bugger, weirdly.
he's very short, isn't he?
Isn't he just?
I didn't realise he was short. I always think of him flying on
Green
the
Goblin.
hoverboard thing.
Yeah, Green.
But,
Green Goblin.
but I always think of him as
I'll
like
get
being.
you, Spidey.
I think of him as a 6-footer, and he's clearly not.
No.
He's in the world of the Mulcrones, isn't he?
He is.
Or, well, the senior Mulcrones.
He's the right height.
Yeah, the right
Yeah.
height. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely 6 foot to
His
something.
feet meet the floor.
And but he is. First of all, he is very handsome.
Yes.
And secondly, he is an exceptional actor. I
Isn't
mean,
he?
these 3 roles that he
Yeah.
plays in this are absolutely
In the
sensational.
past, he has been guilty of hamming up to the point where you just go, "All right, that's enough now, William. You know, you've taken it far too far in this case."
But this
On this case,
requires ham,
It
doesn't it?
did, and everybody was bouncing off each other, and you had, and there are some gruesome elements in it. There are some. I mean, the sex scenes in it are just absolutely either hysterical or they are absurd, or there's nothing sexy about any of the sex scenes at all.
The funny sex scene, the one we watch on video, is just one of the funniest. Okay, I'm going to do a tiny little, just a tiny.
Go on,
spoiler
give a tiny
for
bit
this.
away. Give a tiny bit away.
So basically,
Yes.
This character goes to so the one couple goes to another couple's house.
Yes, right.
And he's being a bit unnecessary and a bit kind of uncomfortable, and and they're trying to kind of placate him.
That's right.
And he's basically saying, "Oh, can we just watch a bit of the movie?"
Yes.
And they're going, "Oh, don't know, it'd be a bit odd if we watched a movie." Blah,
That's
blah,
right.
blah. And then they watch the movie.
It might feel uncomfortable.
And then basically he puts the movie on, and they're all 4 of them sitting there together on the sofa watching the husbands bang the other one's wives, and it's and it is.
I mean, and it's like hardcore.
They're
on it. They're at it. Yeah.
And which Emma Stone seems to like. She does like.
She does like a bit of that.
furious jumping, doesn't she?
Absolutely,
It's
a bit of
very
furious
good.
jumping.
But it is so unexpected, and it's so funny. It's brilliant.
Oh, don't
Absolutely.
forget, it also had the actor from your film from last week, Black Box.
My film from last week. Go. You have to remind me. I've gone blank.
Uh,
Was he the other character?
That's right.
Was he? Okay.
Yes,
cool.
he was. And did you recognise his voice? And he had that and he was the only calming voice all the way through the movie.
No, I didn't click that was him. To be totally honest with you,
He had that face on him.
he did with the big nose. And
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
With
Yeah,
Philo Dido
yeah,
head.
yeah. They're like mushroom cloud head.
Yeah. He's very good too.
Mm. Honestly, they are all absolutely incredible in this movie. It's
So that was story 2, wasn't it? With the unexpected sex scene in it. And then the third.
That's right. Yes.
The third story was.
No, it's the first one.
It was the police officer.
Yeah.
Who was story 2.
And I was. You're right. Yeah.
So story 3.
Yes.
Was basically Emma Stone and what's his face. Jesse Plemons.
That's right.
Were basically their job was to try and find this
Spiritual
healer type person.
But they had a. It was a really strange. It was beautifully strange because they had certain restrictions of finding a spiritual healer.
They knew certain things about this said
That's
person.
right.
The distance between their nipples and their belly button was my personal favourite.
Absolutely. And the fact that one of their sibling was dead.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So And there was wonderful references to cult leaders, and there was wonderful references, and it was all to do with water as well. It was all to do with water.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a glorious movie. Glorious, glorious, glorious movie. Strangely sexualised, confidently surreal, and unashamedly funny and poignant.
Yeah, so I didn't find it overly sexualised. Because to me, it was still not jarring. It's not the right word, but it was still a surprise when there was a sexual element to it, which is what I think. Yes, it wasn't just like it was gratuitous. It was.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you is, I said it was strangely sexualised, and it wasn't conventional in any shape or form. I mean, the fact that William Dafoe had them lining up outside, and they had to be cleansed before they actually touched up any part of his penis.
Yes.
That sort of thing, and they had to
don't do that.
They had to lick the belly button before you had to have your belly button licked before you slept with William Dafoe.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'd let somebody lick my belly button.
Before you fucked Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Right, okay, so then we're on to this thing of having to give this a score.
Yes.
I don't know that I'm ready to do this yet. So I watched this late last night, and I've had a really, really busy day, and I don't think... I just don't... I wouldn't know what number to give this film. I know that I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't... Okay, give
Go
me
on.
a second. I'm going to give it...
Yeah.
How much did I... So...
The nation's waiting.
I was going to say.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
this might be boring, but
Yeah.
if you should go and see this film,
Yes.
and you'll understand my hesitation in giving this a score, because
It's a hard watch.
I can't give it a score based on plot because I didn't understand it.
Yep.
I can give it a good score based on the acting ability.
Absolutely.
Can I give it a good score based on enjoyment? I can.
Yeah,
I
of course
can
you
give
can
it.
do.
I can give it a 7.7.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that it?
A 7.7.
9.4.
Yeah, it's a U.
9.4.
It's a UU
It's got
film.
me written all over it.
See, give me a couple of days, I might be up there.
I think we have to watch it again.
Yeah, it's definitely a watch again.
8.5.
I think- 8.5 is the
Seven.
score.
7 on IMDb. Willem Dafoe is 5'9".
Tiny.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's quite tall.
He is. Next to you. Would you like? That's quite tall. Would you like some facts?
Please.
Okay, so these first two ones might be spoilers, so I will say them quickly.
Okay.
Emma Stone doesn't appear on screen until 33 minutes into the movie.
She doesn't.
And she doesn't speak any lines until 38 minutes into the movie.
Well, I saw her after 28 minutes.
Yeah, unless you turn up late with your Miyazaki
Yeah.
from Maidenhead.
Yeah.
The film tells 3 separate stories with the cast playing different characters in each.
Mm-hmm.
But in an interview, the editor Yorgos said that there's one actor that plays the same character in all 3 stories who connects them in a strange way.
Helicopter pilot. Dead guy.
Beardy man.
Beardy man.
Okay,
RMW. RMP. RMP.
you're right there.
RMP.
Help. So the purple Dodge Challenger that appears prominently in
what
the
an amazing
film's
car.
third act is actually owned by filmmaker Dave McRae,
Yeah.
who is the husband of Emma
Oh, yeah.
Stone.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
It's
And it was driven really well as well, wasn't it?
so good.
Wasn't
It's
it?
just like every time that car's in shot, it's just like, I want me one of them.
And the great thing was, you know where it was coming in, it was doing that slide thing, whatever you call it. And
Drifting.
drifting. And in the car park.
Thing.
And you think to yourself, oh, a bit close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout the 3 episodes, Jesse, how do you say his surname?
I've put it away now.
Pleeman?
Yeah, Plemons.
Plemons. His hair shrinks and becomes shorter after each episode.
It does, absolutely. And he ends up with a haircut almost identical to what you had in Civil War.
So there were actually other people considered for his role, with the likes of Steve Carell, Christian Bale, Andrew Garfield, Ryan Gosling, Woody Harrelson. I can never say his
Woody
name.
Harrelson.
That's the one.
Yes. I think Woody
and
Harrelson
Chris-
would have been quite good in it,
And
actually.
Chris Hemsworth.
See, I thought after that list, you would have said perfectly cast.
It is perfect.
It's perfectly cast.
I tell you what, his silence is deafening. When he looks down and he looks sad, you just feel it from his heart. It's incredible.
I think he held this whole thing together. If this was just another Emma Stone off, I think it would have been a bit too much and
I'm
a
with
bit
you.
too giddy.
Yeah.
He is this real
Isn't he?
steadying rock through it. And then, Willem Dafoe's absurdness is just delightful.
Amazing tapestry.
So with Emma Stone, there was actually 51 other actresses considered for the role as well as her,
Who are they?
including, I'm not giving you all,
Margot Robbie.
including the likes of Kate Blanchett, Emily Blunt, Dakota Johnson, Anna Kendrick, Nicole Kidman, Jennifer Lawrence, Chloe Grace Moretz,
Nicole Kidman.
Rachel Weisz,
Johnson.
and
Yeah.
Kate Winslet. There's
No.
many others as well.
No, Kate Winslet, maybe.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet, because Kate Winslet can be very self-aware, and she can also play the buffoon and also be serious at the same time.
There's something of the Something Minds. What's that with?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Beautiful film.
And the characters played by Willem Dafoe, people considered were George Clooney,
Yep.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert Downey Jr., Ethan Hawke,
Okay.
Edward Norton, Al Pacino, Brad Pitt, Jeremy Renner, and Mark Ruffalo.
So this just sounds like a list of A-list celebrities.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all wanted to have a go at it.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
were considered for the role,
Well,
apparently.
they made the right decisions as
They
far as I was
did.
concerned.
Me too.
I think Yargos should be a little bit more decisive, to be totally honest
Well,
with you. I mean, you can't
he
just
was.
say, I want everyone to be
Yeah,
in
but
it.
imagine having all those acts at the palm of your hand, wondering if they're going to get the
Oh,
role.
don't, you're going to get James all excited again.
Palm
Having
of
all
my
those people at
hand.
the palm of his hand. Yes, okay.
Happy,
It was,
happy.
It was the most befuddled
Yes.
as a crowd we have ever been leaving a cinema.
Well,
No one
just-
really knew. I mean, we had lovely Lawrence with us, didn't
We
we?
did,
And
yes.
he looked quite content with what had
We
happened.
did. Well, Lawrence and I were giggling because we went, well, let's move Holy Motors to one side.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Because in the past, Lawrence and I would usually hunt out the most surreal films that we could find, and I think this one came to us.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know this thing existed.
I know.
And to kind of sit down and have that
Yes.
explode all over your
And
face.
I was
is,
so pleased. I knew nothing about it. It was a joy. It was for me. It was comfort for the soul.
It was a beautiful, warm, tidal water drifting over you.
It was. So there you go. Go and see that film.
Go and see that film.
Kinds of Kindness. If you like something mildly surreal, and if you're happy to let it wash all over you,
Don't go expecting to understand what's going on.
No.
Go
Enjoy it.
expecting just to watch.
Strap
this
yourself in.
beautiful thing.
Talking of strapping yourselves in, you ready for your homework review, Peter?
Yes.
Peter McPete.
Are we moving on? I'm going to review my homework. I was expecting to get homework then, so I didn't understand the.
Go for it.
Okay, I was given the film Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Which is a completely different direction than my usual films.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. I streamed it on Prime.
Yes.
It cost me £2.49 English pence.
It did.
It's a 15 certificate.
That's right.
And it's a very, very brief 1 hour 34 minutes.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's
It's for the TikTok generation.
Yeah, is it?
I think so.
Is it? Okay, so it's set up as a film,
Yeah.
which is meant to be for the TikTok
But
generation.
I know what you mean.
Apart from one scene,
Yes.
which is basically for your and my generation, isn't it?
Wow.
It's basically okay. So this is directed by Helena Rain, who I don't know anything about.
Nor do I, really.
It stars Amanda Stenberg playing Sophie and Maria Bakalova playing B.
Nice.
Who are
Well done, you.
really lovely, young in love couple, and they are part of the TikTok generation.
They
They are
are
of a certain
indeed.
age and a certain.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Love. That was a love.
That's great for
Yeah.
the podcast.
Two-handed, halfy heart thing
Yes.
to chest.
Right.
And they are.
Word.
They turn up at a house
So,
prior to a big storm or hurricane about to happen.
Yes.
And we think that they've been invited to a party.
Yes.
But it kind of transpires that they haven't actually been invited. The character that knows the group of people in the house is just still on a group chat.
Yeah.
And knows that there's a party going on
Yeah.
and decides to go and take her girlfriend with her.
But apparently, it's a thing in America. Hurricane parties are a thing, particularly young uns.
Okay.
Because it's locked down. You're locked down in a weekend. Nobody can get to you, and apparently it's a thing where people they will batten the hatches, get really drunk, and do drugs and have sex and everything else.
Awesome.
I know. Why do we have that here?
How'd you get invited to these things?
Exactly. You're in the Mum Rucksack group.
I don't think I am. Anyway, so they're in the house, and it's kind of quite an accepting, all-inclusive group of different personalities and
sexualities,
and pronouns, and
it's young people, though, isn't it? It's young people in bikinis-esque with boys got long shorts on. It's that sort of young environment, isn't it?
Yeah. So watching it does feel a little bit like the girls are actually the age they are, and the men are 40-year-olds playing young men.
Yeah, let's not go about that though.
Because there's like 3 male characters in this.
Yes.
Did you know one of them played Ronan in Marvel?
Did not know that.
Yeah,
at all.
in Guardians of the Galaxy. And
didn't know that at all.
that's because I was kind of going through.
Oh yes, absolutely, yes.
And then the other actor that you might know about is Mahala. Forgot to write down her surname. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Who played Jordan, and she was in that film that I did for my homework, and I've forgotten what it's called, but it's when there's a family that go and rent a house on holiday, and then everything kind of blacks out, and Manhattan gets blown up. Do you remember that?
Oh, let me digest that. I'll come back to you in a minute.
She's a brilliant
Leave the World
actress.
Behind.
Yes, that was it.
There you go.
Yeah, Leave the World Behind.
And she does refer to herself as Mahala. However, her surname is Herald. H.
Oh, okay, fine. So I didn't forget to write it down. That is.
No,
so she's like Madonna.
She's known as a one name.
Or Sting.
Yes. Or any other.
Who else
Pink.
is there? Prince.
Anyway, moving on. Right, so this film is called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies because this particular group of friends have a game that they like to play when they're doing drink and drugs, and it's called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yes.
And basically, they sit in a circle and, for no particular reason, slap subsequent people in the face, and then take a shot of tequila, and then somebody pretends to die and someone pretends to be the murderer.
That's right. It's like Postman's Knock.
It is like Postman's Knock.
It's a bit like Postman's Knock, but it's for the TikTok generation.
Maybe it is Postman's Knock, but
Maybe
they call
it
it
is.
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies in America.
Do you ever think it really exists in... would you like to do some research? Do you think you could check to see if that really exists?
Oh, does anyone
What,
care?
Bodies,
Oh, yeah,
Bodies,
Bodies,
Bodies?
Bodies. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. This film also stars Pete Davidson, who I didn't know who he was.
Didn't you?
I know who he
Really?
is. I know who he was, but when you guys described him,
Yes.
and I was just like, oh yeah, him. Yeah, I didn't realise
He's an enigma.
Yeah, well, he was Kim Kardashian's
He
beau for a while.
was,
And
yeah.
Ariana Grande.
But yeah, he's basically been with everyone. He's obviously very charming and hung like a mule.
Him and Kanye West don't get on at all.
I'm not surprised.
No. So he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he is,
And
yeah.
he's quite
He was on
quite
Saturday Night Live,
hardcore, yeah. And he's one of those, like, roasting comedians.
Yeah,
Do you know that?
yeah.
I even roasting.
Yeah, but that's the wrong type of roasting, James.
Is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
no.
spit roasting sweet cheeks. And anyway, so these characters, then the hurricane hits.
Yes, it does. They're all battened down. They're safe inside the house. It does, yes.
And then the game, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies,
Begins.
Comes
After
to real-
loads of drinking.
comes to real life.
Yes.
Yeah. And one by one, they're picked off for one reason or another.
All right.
Yeah. And then we get... So it's basically... It's like 45 minutes of one after another
It's
dying.
like a slasher movie, isn't it, almost?
It is like a slasher movie, but it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because there's no kind of focus, or there's no kind of... They're kind of suggesting who might have done it. And at one point, there's a big argument as to, well, you did this, and you said that, and well, you're
they're kind
like
of killing
this,
each other off because because the paranoia is kicking in because they're on so much drugs and because there's somebody dies at the beginning of the film. They are terrified that somebody's trying to kill them initially, and so they become immediately paranoid.
Be careful.
Yes,
so
I
I'm
know.
trying to be careful.
I know.
Because there's a scene which is the scene for you and I, and not for the TikTok generation. Because what it does is it basically describes all of the personality traits of the TikTok generation,
it does.
one by one, with them having a go at each other, and that's the twist in the movie. The result of that is the twist in the movie, which is okay. So
It's funny.
it is just a joke. And that
Exactly.
so the build up to this film is the build up to the punchline, and the punchline is this argument at the end, which is basically the director of this film basically annihilating the TikTok generation's personalities, and I have to say it's quite funny.
Yeah, it almost felt a bit jackassy. You know, that sort of like that sort of humour and that sort of
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I can imagine it being.
So Jackass is it tends to be more kind of cringy violence, as in terms like it's so over
But
the
not.
top.
But I'm talking about the audience, that sort of
Yeah.
level of humour.
Yeah, I mean it is a teen horror.
Yes.
It's definitely. So I said to my daughter, "Have you seen Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "I haven't seen it yet, but I'm intending to."
There you go.
And
We're ahead of the curve.
well, we're not. But anyway, yes. So I watched it. It was the worst film I saw this week.
But do you know what? I agree with you. But I would say, from a home movie point of view, from a horror, funny, comedy-esque, it does its job.
Because it's an hour and 34
Exactly.
minutes
It
long.
takes all those
If this was a
boxes.
2-hour film.
Oh no, you don't want any longer than that. I
No,
agree with you completely.
It's one of, yeah, and there are quite a few. So you've recommended now 2 or 3 films which are kind of short and sweet like that, and and
I think that's done on purpose as well. I think they've edited it correctly.
it does what it says on the tin. For me, it's a healthy 6.5.
Good.
It's not going to set the world alight,
No.
but there's nothing terrible about
No,
it, and there are
exactly.
actually some good acting in it.
Yeah.
My hala, my lahu.
My
It's wonderful. She's a brilliant actress,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like you really vest in her character.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
she's great.
Good.
That's all I have to say about that.
It is available on Google Play, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Netflix.
Okay,
So it would have
There you go.
it wasn't available on Netflix.
been. Oh, maybe it just is.
I
then.
think it's maybe expired on Netflix. but-
So, Bodies, the game they played.
yeah.
The real non-lethal game of Body is called Body Body, and it's similar to the game of Mafia. Really, the only difference between the two is that Mafia players stay seated, and in Body Body, players move around to a bigger space, although you won't need a mansion.
Right.
And the game Mafia is played in night cities and day cities.
Right.
In night cities, Mafia members eliminate townspeople while everyone's eyes are closed.
Right.
In day cities, players accuse eliminate people they think might be part of the mafia. Accused players are allowed to give defences and votes take place. Sounds a bit like traitors to me.
What's wrong with Snap?
It's not. You can't.
I don't want to go to
kill
that
people.
party anymore.
No, not a
You can't
why.
kill
No,
people.
it sounds
No.
awful.
No, not at all. I'm glad you watched it though.
I didn't dislike it,
Good.
but you know, in a this was a high caliber film week. It was a
Oh, yeah.
it was a
It's a toughie to get anywhere near.
It's 6.2 on IMDb. So.
oh yeah, it's round about there. It's,
I
yeah.
agree. Perfect. Okay, so Bodies now available to stream on several platforms. If you've got an hour and a half free,
I've got a little good news story.
have you?
So when I went to see Biker Ida's,
Yes.
there I went with my wife, and we when we left, we bumped into one of our friends and their daughter who
Yeah.
really enjoyed the film, and we were talking about Tom Hardy as an actor.
Yeah.
And Pauline, without any instruction from me or any suggestion, recommended Locke to them, and they watched Locke this week, which I thought was like a really nice kind of.
I agree.
You are my
Yeah.
teacher,
Yeah.
and we are passing these teachers on. We are passing it forward.
Now, talking about that,
Yeah.
you've seen Bronson, haven't you?
I have seen Bronson.
Thank God for that. What a beautiful film that is,
It's cracking.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's not your homework this week. Oh no.
Oh God.
Your homework this week. I saw this film in 2003. 23 years ago.
No.
No, 20 years ago.
21.
21 years ago. 21 years ago.
And that's why James doesn't do the top 10.
On the recommendation
Yeah.
of Jonathan Ross.
All right.
Okay, when he was doing the film review show on the BBC, and he described it in a certain way that I thought, I can't not watch this film, and I immediately went to Blockbusters
Yeah.
and found, because it is quite an obscure film. It came out in 2001, but it's quite obscure, and lucky enough, it was my local Blockbuster at the time did have an obscure section, because you know when it went very blockbuster at the end. So I've only seen this film once. I've got very, very fond memories of it.
Okay.
It is a fantastic mashup of maybe 2, maybe 3 really strong genres. Okay, and genres that, quite frankly, shouldn't go together,
Okay.
but it works. Okay, it's a bit like, I tell you what I had the other day. I had pear and parmesan the other day. It's really nice. Put it in the air fryer. It's really nice. that sort of thing. Mix it together, it works really, really
Did
well.
you just drop air
Yeah, I
fryer
know.
in it just to make me angry? Why did you put pear into an air fryer?
Well, because what you do is you chop the pear up into quarters.
Yeah.
You shave some parmesan over it.
Yeah.
A little bit of olive oil.
Yeah.
Crack some black pepper onto it.
Yeah.
Put it into a little tray. Put it into an air fryer. Fry it off for 5 minutes, and it's a spectacular pudding.
Is it?
Yeah, really lovely.
See, because I would have no problem with pear, parmesan, and like balsamic, like a good quality balsamic vinegar
yeah,
together. But I would have that cold and
Oh no, you bang it in the book. What happens is it goes all crustified. Anyway, so it shouldn't work, but it does, and this movie does exactly the same.
okay.
Right?
So I'm going to watch pear and parmesan.
You are. It's a Japanese film from 2001.
Okay.
So it's subtitles for it. Mm-hmm. It's called The Happiness of the
Katakuris.
Katakuri. Have you seen it?
No.
Good. That's your homework.
Am I watching it sub or dub?
Prime.
It's on Prime.
Prime.
How much is it on Prime?
It should be.
Just says premium subscription, so
There you
I
go.
would assume it was free if you have the subscription.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh no, rent for $4.99
Oh, sorry.
or buy for
Fine, that's all right.
$9.99.
However-
I'll just take it out your subs.
Lawrence, you should be watching this. Listen to this, Lawrence. You should be watching this as well over the weekend.
Or,
but Lawrence listens at 1.5 speed. Lawrence,
Lawrence.
we need your reviews.
You can also watch it for free on Shudder with a 7-day free trial. But make sure you forget to cancel. Make sure you don't forget to cancel the free trial.
Which I did a month ago.
Oh no!
So you still got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, but that means I haven't watched anything on Shudder, and I've still got Shudder.
You should watch. Shudder's great. We've got it on roll.
Mate, I don't have time to watch any more movies than I watch at the moment.
So yeah. So let's
I'm never
reiterate.
not watching
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
So to reiterate, what's the name of the film that people have to watch?
The pear and the parmesan.
The Happiness of the.
Katakuris.
Right. There you go. That's your homework.
Thank you.
Perfect.
What films are we watching next week?
Well, in a violent nature, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Scream Unseen tonight, which I'm not watching, unfortunately. But that means it's going to be released by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
I am so excited about that. However, in between that, I'm pretty sure Longlegs is going to come out as well, which looks like it's going to be the most terrifying movie of all time, starring Nicolas Cage.
All right. Okay. So we've got a whole weekend.
Unrecognisable, apparently.
Apparently, it is due out on the 12th of July.
There you go.
So it won't be this week.
Next
it'll be
week.
next
Okay.
week.
Oh, that's all right. We've got one to watch this week, one to watch next week.
Exactly. Right.
And you're going to be watching Inside Out 2. And
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
one. And I'm going to be watching
The Happiness of the Catacombs.
A Quiet Place
Ooh.
2 and 3.
Yes.
No, 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
No, this was one
No.
No, this was the prequel.
called Day 1.
That's right.
Yeah, day 1, but it wasn't number 1.
No.
Yeah, I know that, but so I'm watching
trying to
2
be
and 3.
I know.
I'm doing chronologically 2 and 3.
Yeah. He's doing Star Wars. That's what he's doing.
Anyway, where can people find us?
Oh, so they can well, they've watched this on YouTube,
Of course.
Obviously.
or they've listened to the podcast in whichever streaming platform they choose to get it from.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the moment where you can either leave a comment under our YouTube video,
That's right.
or you can comment on Facebook
That's right.
and leave us a review on Facebook, or you can click onto our Instagram and slide into our DMs and leave a message or a review for us there. Or, if you know us personally, you can drop us a voice note on Instagram.
We love our voice notes.
It's about time we had another one.
Yeah. I
think so. Leo Miles.
Leo Miles, can we
And
please have your
Richard.
voice?
Tucker.
Richard Tucker?
And
Tucker
Lawrence,
TV.
they've all given us voice.
That's right. Exactly.
They have indeed. I think we could do with a bit of Lawrence as well,
Yes.
couldn't we really? We definitely, his reviews are so much
Come
better,
on, Thunder Buddy.
so much better than ours.
We're Thunder Buddies.
I don't need
Why are
to
we
know.
called Thunder Buddies?
I don't need to know. Can we papa
From
out?
Is
Ted.
that like teabagging?
Ted.
No, it's
Can
not
we
like
can we just papa out and end this, please?
Papa, 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 papa,
Popcorn Pundits.
Episode 36.
Welcome back, Nikki.
Thank you. I'll be off next week.